hands-off.
Okay, first cause, that's it.
Look, if anyone says the first cause is not intelligent, yes, then you got to realize then what is it? Is it even something that is sentient? To create this universe with dysfunctionalities of the physical laws and everything.
It can process to kickstart this, maybe, but it doesn't.
But to me, that requires more intelligence than even someone who maintains.
You can accidentally start a chain reaction.
So give me an example of a chain reaction that has got no cause.
No.
It has to have a cause.
No, I'm saying the whole issue is that we agree there's something in the beginning.
Yeah.
The attributes of that something is what gets questioned. Is it intelligent and so on?
No, but like I've already answered that question. I said if the intelligent being created this universe with such design, to me it's mind-blowing when you look at it, even the tiniest thing in the universe, or even the largest thing in the universe that we know of. To me it's mind-blowing.
You're just seeing the chain reaction.
No one can explain that all this came from just from a chain reaction or an accident. We see a particular design, a particular blue map in there, in all of these things, that this is something which not only has a purpose but has a designer behind it as well.
What they're saying basically is that we had the hurricane in the desert.
Yeah, and build a jumbo 747 or something.
No, it's not. This is even more intelligent.
I think we're saying that's a possibility, but I think what you're saying is yours is it 100%? Is it certain?
Yes.
What you're saying is that you have certain proof.
I have no other.
They're saying they don't really know.
I have no other explanation besides the intelligent designer designing all this. And the reason I call it intelligent designer is because this doesn't appear without intelligence. Yes?
That's questionable.
Why is it questionable? Okay, you know a fly.
It's amazing.
Wait, a fly is so small. And if you look at, it is, in fact, science actually enables me and it strengthens my faith.
I'm not denying
because it's able to look at something to that level which we are unable to look before. You see what I mean? So every time science actually strengthens my faith when I look at the discoveries of science. The reason they're called discoveries and not inventions shows that they existed already. All we have to do is discover it.
Look, that we completely agree with, right?
Yeah.
And even like the Quran says, look to horizon and you will learn, and it proves itself, right? So the more you basically observe the world, the more you learn.
It encourages you to observe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So if you look at the early Muslims, who are not only scientists and philosophers and thinkers, yes, the reason, what really propelled this movement and kind of this zeal was the religion itself, was the belief in God itself. Now, can you imagine the early Christian scientists who were killed and murdered because they thought, no, they're going against the will of God? Yes, look at the contrast between two. Islam encourages you to look at the world around you and to question it.
But what I'm saying is it requires
and to ponder on it.
It does require a leap of faith.
There has to be. Look, even for you to believe that your dad is your dad requires a leap of faith. Absolutely. Yes, unless everyone has done a DNA test.
Of course.
So we have to believe in something called testimony. You go to the doctor here, it requires a leap of faith, unless you have checked his credentials. You see what I mean? Just because he works in the NHS, you think, yes, there's a reliable institute, so I should believe in my doctor because the NHS says so. So you see, testimony is a very important element in our, system, in our civilization.
Maybe you can leap of faith then that there's a first cause, and this first cause is an intelligent being who created us.
Yeah, and who communicates to us. I told you already several times, but you're stuck in one position. I don't know. How many times have I told you that intelligent designer is not only able to design this thing, but is able to create us, also intelligent beings, and communicate with us. Why is that so impossible? If you created a robot who has got artificial intelligence in its system, are you not able to communicate with it? In order for it...
I just want to know where this supremely intelligent thing came from.
Came from nowhere, because by itself, no, not created itself, it is eternal. If you can imagine a being who doesn't need a creator, who is not dependent on anyone or anything, yes? Yeah. Why is that so difficult? Because the only explanation which will stop you from this problems like infinite regress is such a being. Unless you guys can give me alternatives.
I think you already answered this, but you're saying the universe can't be eternal because it doesn't have intelligence, whereas the creator...
No, the universe cannot be eternal because A, it is not sentient to create itself.
It's not sentient.
That is one. Second, you have a problem with... We know how old the universe is, yeah? They tell us it's 14.56 billion years old. We know it started somewhere, so it has a beginning.
No, but you don't know if the singularity is the start of the universe. That's the only point. Because it could be expanding, contracting.
No, even then, you have the infinite
don't know
regress.
how-
I gave you the issue about the infinite regress.
But that's why I bring it back to the internality of it. So basically, you're saying, again, it goes back to, if we agree there is something at the start, then one of the key elements for you, one of the key attributes, it needs to be sentient. Otherwise, it has
It has to be intelligent. Sentient, obviously, means it's self-aware. Yes? Now, the universe, do you think the universe, the planets are self-aware? Do you think the stars are self-aware? Exactly. So I don't know what part of universe you're talking about, because you cannot talk. To me, the universe is a collective of so many things, including us. And we came much later. So if it existed 14.5 billion years ago, or started to exist from then it has a starting point. To me, if anything, there's a starting point and I know the universe will end one day as well. Yes? So if it has a start and an end, to me that is something which is not only finite.
How do you know the universe will end?
Because everything ends. Everything ends. Except God Almighty.
The sun is depleting, so in itself.
No, wait.
But that's not the universe.
That's not the universe, that's the solar system.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that
the universe is a system. If it started,
we don't have any idea.
You know, there are many theories that because it's expanding, one day it will collapse. And these are scientifically attested theories. Because to me it's finite. Yeah, of course. So is evolution a theory.
no, it's all
so
theories, yeah.
a theory doesn't mean it's wrong. By the way, I'm not one of those guys who says it's a theory. Oh, so let's put it aside. A theory is just a way of deductive analysis and thinking that they come to this. A theory, yeah, exactly. A theory has to be proven false, not that it exists, that is proven true. In order for it to be negated, it has to be falsified. You're right, yeah. And that's the reason I tell you the theory of evolution are many, and many have been falsified, including Darwinism. Anyway, look, unless you can give me any other alternative to these three possibilities of how the universe came into being, then we can talk further. But to me, this matter is very clear. It cannot exist by itself. It cannot be created from nothing. And
why can't it exist on itself?
Because it doesn't.
That your supreme or your intelligent designer did create itself.
Is the universe intelligent?
How do I can't tell you.
Well, you asked the question. You should know.
I have no answers. That's why I'm saying.
Well, the answer is in fact he already asked this question earlier.
No,
I said in order for it to be intelligent, first thing it has to be sentient. Yes, it has to know it exists even.
No, why does it?
Does the universe know it exists?
Sorry?
Does the universe know it exists?
We've been through this. Maybe you were not listening. Was that?
Does God know He exists?
Of course
He does. Because He's self-aware.
We have been through this already.
How do you know that?
So what's the difference?
Where's your evidence for that?
The evidence.
How do you know that God is self-aware?
The evidence is the universe itself. Do you think something that is unaware can create something like the universe? Can create you who can be self-aware?
If you made that camera, that means you're aware of making the camera, right?
Yeah.
So if God created the universe, then He must be self-aware. Right?
That's assuming the Earth,
Not
the
necessarily.
universe was created.
You can
What?
throw
Does
a
it
ball
exist?
and it could hit somebody in the head. You're not aware.
Does it
of
exist?
But you're aware you threw the ball.
But was it created?
Answer the question. Does it exist?
Was it created?
I will come to that. But first,
You want to put me into inside.
why do they always get defensive and ask such questions? I don't know why. I'm trying to what?
They tried to set up a trap for you.
Do you feel trapped? I'm sorry if you got trapped.
If I trapped you, if we trapped you, sorry, man.
No.
Don't trap me at all.
All I'm saying is,
What are they going to gain? What are they going to
yeah, what am I
They're
doing?
going to gain a believer
Nothing.
and alhamdulillah and whatnot, bro. What are you talking about? Listen.
But why you're so defensive? Why don't you talk to me?
It's not a matter.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
If you don't even know it exists, then there's no point talking about intelligence, is there? Let's start with the basics first. If it exists, then we can talk about whether it's sentient or not. But if you don't even know it exists, then it's pointless to talk about that.
Do you exist?
Okay? So it's not to put you in any wrong way or to create a trap for you, like the way you alleged. I'm sorry if you felt that way.
I'm gonna steal it from you. I'm not gonna steal it from you.
No,
First cause, yeah.
Okay, then let's go from there. Go on. He's
No, we-
accepted the premise of first.
yeah, but we have already discussed this, and that's what I'm
Does that
saying.
first cause have to be intelligent? I'm not sure. I agree.
That's where we're stuck.
No, it's not stuck. To me, if someone is a creator of anything, it has to have intelligence.
No, but like I said,
Creators.
Yes, a creator of anything, be it a robot, be it a small, I don't know, frisbee or something. it has to have certain level of intelligence.
You can
To me,
accidentally create
to me, the universe is so complex, yes,
randomly-
that we have not even explored maybe a fraction of it. Forget the universe, take the oceans. You know, they say we have only explored a fraction of the ocean. We have only explored a fraction of the ocean, let alone the universe.
Maybe his
What's
thoughts
intelligence? Move past that. Maybe accept this one.
No, do it.
Okay, so just a 1% chance.
There's a chance.
Yeah, no.
Okay, but could you
My
say
question to you is that,
intellectually intelligent?
and it might be moving too far too quickly, but I'm saying that the God that you are worshipping is the first cause, right?
Yeah.
But how do you know that that God that you are worshipping is the first cause?
That's the only,
How do you know that?
because that is the only way that I can conclude conclusively that without this first cause.
Yeah, but your God.
I'm answering, my friend. I'm answering. If you let me finish.
Continue.
Because you remember earlier I gave you the three options. Either we came from nothing, or the universe created itself, or there is something. To me, that something has to not only be self-aware, yes, has to be intelligent, yes. The reason, not because I say, because for you to create even the minutest thing that you're wearing right now requires certain level of intelligence. To me, this universe is so complex that this is beyond your imagination even. And if that being who created all this is not intelligent, then you guys are thinking from some other perspective to a normal perspective.
Word. Maybe our understanding of that word intelligence might differ. For example, if I just...
What's your understanding?
No, I'm just saying, I'm going to give an example. If I just threw something on the ground and it formed into a lovely picture.
Don't give me fairy tales.
Not fairy tales. If I threw something on the ground, for example, would that be classed as intelligence because it created something that is useful?
Yes.
Okay, so then we can...
Shall I tell you what?
I'm not saying it's...
Wait. First and foremost, you said two things.
Yeah.
You said something that you created using what?
Something that
Using what? Using paint?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes,
Where did the paint come from?
paint. I don't know.
Exactly. Someone must have created it, right?
Okay.
So it didn't come from nothing.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no
And that is why I always go back to, doesn't matter what raw material you use, it cannot exist by itself.
That's fine.
You know, there are, if you look at an atom, yes, honestly, like I said, every time I look at the minutest things in the universe, to me it points to a fact that it has been designed by someone or something. Yes, no one can deny. And science, as I told you earlier, has actually strengthened my belief in this intelligent designer.
Sure.
Yes, everything I look at, whether it's the minutest thing or the macro or the micro things that I look at, everything points to one thing, that there is someone behind this. It didn't come into existence.